Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to Last Epoch 1.0, out now today. I've been waiting for this game for quite some time, and I guess we gotta start over from the very beginning. So I gotta take a look at a couple of things. They've added stuff. Oh, so they'd specifically added the Falconer and the Warlock at the very least. They've probably added some more. I might as well take a look at these. So these are all different subclasses that you can pick. So you have your base class Primalist, but you can pick a sub-mastery. Well, do you pick a sub-mastery? No, it's chosen during the campaign. So you get access to them over the course of gameplay. And I think they're even planning on adding more of these. So I have to decide who I want to play of all of these. So I've played this guy, I've played this guy. I think my last video was on him. I think I had a video with her as well. I haven't played this guy, and usually when I play with my brother, he plays the mage. So I think I'll play, for this video at least, this dude. Gosh, what do I need? There we go, Arc Wabo. And let's dive in. Okay, normal solo account found. No, I'm not touching any of these.
In the beginning, there was darkness. Only terror, myself, and the void. I was content with nothing. She dreamt of light, of life, of humanity. We disagreed, and yet, in her world, there were gods. Mujasa of the desert, Lagon of the sea, Rye of the endless skies, and Hierot of the frozen tundra. But fate stole Terra away. Without her, there was conflict, then wars. In the end, it was Rye who sought to outshine the sun that would pull the world into his flame. Caught within Rye's gaze were the Keepers, an order sworn to protect Terra's memory and the power it still holds. They were joined by someone unexpected, a traveler, willing to walk into the flames of war. But why? Was it honor they sought? Power? Redemption? Or was this fate? Perhaps. But no story is quite that simple.
Okay. So, I should mention a couple of things. So this game has both an online mode and a offline mode. I'm currently...
These roads are not kind to my bones, but I must hurry. Welrin is still a few days away.
So I started playing in the I started playing in the offline or the online mode, and it immediately kicked me out as soon as the cutscene was over. So if you want to play this, do not try and play with friends for the next like 2 days. Luckily, offline mode is perfectly functional, and I'm playing as normal. Can my... Oh, right click to attack. I'll probably use spells because that is what wizard does, but maybe I do melee wizard. You never know. I've never tried a melee wizard in one of these games. In the hands of a fallen messenger, you find a letter from the Keeper's Council. It's addressed to you.
Traveler, our Heoborian allies informed us that you will attend the peace talks. Raya's war has reached our lands, and we are in need of aid. As Keepers, we avoid conflict. We're dedicated to the goddess Terra's memory. That is, until Raya forced our hand. He wishes to destroy us and steal Terra's legacy. We can't let that happen. We need Hierot's help. Your help.
Take the messenger's letter. Neat. But yeah, so and this is something that's been coming up a lot lately as far as I'm concerned. I don't know how many of you guys back in the day watching this video played Diablo 3 at launch. But that was probably one of the worst release windows I think I've ever seen in terms of like overall performance. Can I change this there? I'm just gonna do right click with the zap so I don't have to press Q. I'll have to do the Q at some point anyway, but at least let's back off for a second. Because I can kite these guys, whatever the heck they are. Eye of Reyes. I don't remember this being the plot of the pre-release version. I thought it was something completely different. It looks nicer. I'd have to actually go back and like watch my old. Huh. I gotta check something. I'd have to. Oh. Oops. You need to actually hit confirm. Why is it? I'm playing offline mode and it still doesn't pause. It's fine. Fireball. Wait. Does the fireball work against the armored phoenixes that well? I don't know. Okay, settings, VSync, VSync. I think I broke it. Why is there chat? Chat should be disabled. I have broken everything. Can I close out of this? Disable chat. Hopefully it like hides itself. Oh, maybe it's not. Well, okay. So I've caught back up to where I was. Apparently, do not quit out in the early section. You will just get sent back to your last checkpoint, which actually makes a lot of sense. But whoopsie. Anyway, so yeah, Diablo 3 had like a really rough launch, and so whenever there's an online-only game that has like a modicum of hype prior to its release, I always am just like, yeah, it's scuffed, or it's inevitably going to be scuffed, no matter how much as a developer, no matter how much any developer tries to get ahead of netcode issues. You're still going to get the absolute hug of death on launch day, launch week, something like that. And it's always important to have an offline mode that works. I'd like it if the offline mode actually let you, transfer your character up, but I also recognize that that probably has issues with like online multiplayer and balance and things. Snap freeze. We can also spend some stat points. Okay, passive information, so we get passive notes. So we can put points into these. Some will give us stats, some will get us damage, some will get us various things. I don't remember what int does. Int is 4% word retention, improves skills that rely on carefully studied magics such as lightning blast and mana strike. Also gives me some resistances. So what do we even care about? Because we also, if I want to get access to these two, I have to go through this central one, which isn't the worst idea. 10% damage ain't terrible right now. When you hit an enemy with a lightning skill, you cast arcane lightning and additional enemies dealing damage. That's a 5-second cooldown, so that's okay. Or hit an enemy with a fire skill, ignite nearby enemies 5-second cooldown. Both are kind of good. What else do we have? I haven't really played too much of this character, so I'm just going to put it into Elementalist anyway, just because what we want right now is just raw damage more than anything else. I turned on VSync and I'm still having screen tearing, whatever.
Fools. Fools.
It's not a big deal. Not for me anyway. Gosh, this game is gorgeous. I'm not big on the concept art on the loading screens necessarily, but the rest of it is great. Whoa. Oh, the fireball has an AoE to it. That's nice. The bodies are burnt beyond recognition. They were fleeing. Yeah, this is new. They redid this. I wonder if it's a personalized story based on the character, or if it's a completely new introduction for the story. Should probably take a look at this. Which is better? There we go. Shields are nice, but I want more spell damage. Right now, I'm not feeling particularly threatened by any enemies. And so it's probably better that I just go for the raw oomph more than anything else. Also, a Cryomancer's traveling staff seems kind of reasonably good.
When you arrived, was there a family?
Everything all right?
It was my mistake. They were cornered, and there were so many. I can handle Osprix. I told them to stay back, to let me handle it. And they left.
It's war. You can't save everyone.
What good are we if we can't? Sorry. I just met you, and it's been a long road. Are you also here for the peace talks?
That's right.
Good, because so am I. Name's Grail. Since we're both headed the same direction, why don't we go together?
Sounds good to me.
I wonder, which of us will take down more Osprix? Come, let me watch you fight.
Okay, right. I should look at Snap Freeze. So, cooldown when you freeze an enemy. Okay. So it just freezes enemies nearby. Oh, right. I didn't actually check to see how much...
Smoke!
I didn't actually check to see if that staff was better. It just had a higher quality to it. Which is usually fine. Oh, for Raya. I got to admit, some of them, it sounds like they're saying for Brian, and that amuses me to no end. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is... Oh, we got a specialization slot.
And for what?
The only immediate problem is I have character voices turned up so we can hear the dialogue, and whoops-a-doo, we're hearing a lot of shouting. So, I hope you guys like screaming. I should probably actually turn up the gameplay sound effects and the music. I turned it down maybe too much. Okay, maybe not the environmental volume. There we go. Go with that. Oh, right. Tab if I want to get the full view of what's going on. There we go. That feels at least a little bit more mixed. So it actually looks like the environmental, or the Nova does, or I can use the Nova as much as I want. What's the AoE on it? Fireball's better. Or Fireball is better against, for just like raw damage output.
Where'd you learn to fight?
Diablo. I don't think that's legit to say. Yeah, see, here's where the Nova's great. Fireball's got a little bit of AoE, but it ain't got nothing on a big boomy wave. I'll level up in a smidge. And give myself a little bit of time to stack some more experience and whatnot. I don't really know how much I should actually, like, clear these zones. Okay, I think this was some kind of haste boost. Maybe. I swear he just Hadoken somebody. It was more of like a huzzah, but I don't know. You know, it honestly makes me think a Street Fighter action RPG would be kind of sick. It's unlikely it would ever get made, but it would be cool. Okay, let's wait one more level. Be lazy. I don't want to spend forever flipping through menus. Nothing wrong with it, and that is how these games work, but to go back to the online component of this, I might as well mention that the login servers are fine. It's just some kind of weird bug once you get into the game. Probably just based on too many people. And so, almost assuredly, it's probably going to be fixed within the next, like, 3 days. But in the meantime, yeah, the solo mode works fine. I don't know. As long as I can play the game, that's what I care about.
I'll see you ahead.
I do look forward to playing this multiplayer with my brother and my brother and wife. Why can I not pick that health potion up? I have no idea. Oh, bonus spell damage versus cold damage, but I don't do cold damage. Oh, we've leveled up, so we should take a look at some of these things. So we have Mana Strike. Hits all enemies in an area in front of you, returning 15 mana if it hits an enemy. Deals 15 base lightning damage, 60 DPS, 50 DPS, 79 DPS. Snap Freeze, Elemental Nova. We also have Glacier Disintegrate Volcanic Orb. Because, yeah, none of these, for the most part, have mana cost. This one does. All types of Elemental Nova you have enabled have an equal chance to cast. That's interesting. I'm curious what that means. Ice Nova. So, freeze rate of 40. Oh, does it cycle between them then? Damage in area. So we could specialize into the Nova if we wanted to. I guess let's put another point or two into that. So let's go back here. I've been using the Fireball and I've been liking that so far. So a higher chance to ignite enemies. That's good. Pierces, but costs more mana. Deals more damage with other modifiers, travels faster. I like adding Pierce to the Fireball, if I want to go that direction. And I can make it do lightning as well. I don't know. I think we're just going Fireball. Let's put... Oh, it's Pierce Chance. Got it. Increase cast speed. Increase cast speed deals more damage for each extra projectile. Some of these increase... One of these has to increase how many fireballs I'm sending out. Fireballs now seek targets. Yeah. I think I'm just going to specialize in this. We have 1 point. I'm just going to make it so that my fireballs have a chance of setting things on fire.
The keepers have proven difficult to track, but my observations revealed the truth. Their camps are neither chosen nor abandoned on a whim. There's a pattern to how they scurry. I instructed my soldiers to investigate the abandoned camps. Invariably, they're near shrines devoted to the eldest of gods. Each one was as empty as the last, save for meager signs of the Keeper's presence. They're not guarding the ruins. They're traveling between them, over and over. They must be moving with them. It'll be as simple as burning these vermin to ash. Raya wills it.
Right. Game does not have WASD movement. It does actually have pretty good controller support from what I remember, which might actually be something I mess around with. I actually kind of prefer action RPGs with controller support. I don't know. I got old fingers and they're starting to get kind of bad on me.
Herots offered protection. More than protection. An alliance. But the truth is, we know little about him. Or his people. Why should the Council trust him? Prospect 1. He's one of the gods. Etera made him just as she made us keepers, and gave him a role by her side. He's the guardian of his people, and he does his job well. Prospect 2. He cares for his people. Like the goddess herself, he extends his heart to all who need support. He forms alliances, wanting to stand united. Meanwhile, Raya wishes to tear this world asunder. Prospect 3. His people are warriors. Haerborian fighters put ours to shame. We fight because it is necessary, while they relish in it. I'll take on being behind their blade any day. Thus, I propose we accept this alliance. It is not in our nature, but we keepers have a sacred duty to uphold. Without Herot's help, our efforts might prove fruitless.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see how that works.
Sounds like their leaders waiting up at the shrine. The keepers have done well. This place isn't too different from home. A group tied closely with our goddess, Etera. They've been indebted to her, but why, we do not know. Even their name is... Well, what do they keep? Do they adhere to another god or just her? It's these mysteries that interest the Osprix. Whatever secrets the Keepers hold, I'm sure Raye wants them.
So what's next?
Now, we speak to the Keeper Council. Speaking of, I must head there now. Feel free to look around. I'll see you shortly.
See you soon. Okay. So good talk to all of these characters. I'm glad that this first act seems to be a fair bit. Oh yeah, we even have like a whole explorable zone before we start messing around with time. Is a little unfortunate that they actually spoil the time travel. I know it's part of their marketing, but it is one of those where it's like they could have actually kept it under wraps. And not told anybody, and it might have actually been almost cooler. Okay, so what do they have to sell? Increased stun chance, damage over time, melee chance, melee fire damage, increased cast speed is kind of tempting. 84 gold. You know what? Sure. What is this? Men-infused amulet. I'll equip it.
Right.
Okay, that's my stash, but I can't do much with it. Okay, so I'm just poking at the controls. So I can just drop a portal whenever I want. That's nice.
Sounds like this is where we part ways. Good luck out there. Yes. Something you need?
Okay, so I'm just gonna skip that.
Grail was just telling me of your battle. I am Lena, one of the Keeper's Council. One of 2. There should be more of us here.
What happened?
They're gone. Balthus and I remain, and he's not here. As such, I must ask for your help.
Ask away.
Balthus is busy checking on our sacred artifacts. We're protectors of Atera's history, and right now, they're in danger.
What can you tell me about this artifact?
Not much, I'm afraid. We'll discuss it after our alliance.
But I'm doing you a favor.
You are, and I'm sorry, but this is how it must be. Their secrecy keeps them safe. Even now, the Osprix swarm all of our sacred vaults. I've already asked Grail to check one down in the mountains. There is another up north, where Balthus is. Could you make sure he's safe? There's word of a drake patrolling the skies.
Can do.
Do this, and our alliance is secure. We'll lend our aid to Heoboria's army.
Sounds like I have work to do. Okay. I do appreciate there's a lot of lore and potential dialogue thrown around, but it's pretty brief. It's got good brevity, I guess is the better way of putting it. Okay. So let's go out into the wilds. I really appreciate the changed intro. And this is something that I always find a little bit killer. Okay, I can now use a portal. So this is always something I find a bit killer about okay, those sound effects might be too high. Yeah, they're too high. It balanced the screaming maybe a little bit too much. There we go. And I might just have to turn the screaming off. Well, I don't know. I'll make it work, at least for today. Let's see. What was I going to say within all of this? I got distracted. I was talking about controllers, settings, other things. Oh, right. One problem that I have with a lot of games is that as a content creator, God, I hate calling myself a content creator. As an indie impressionist, no, that doesn't make sense either because it makes it sound like I'm mimicking things. As somebody who does like indie games coverage, I dislike having to redo things that I've already done before. It's not that bad, but it's uncomfortable. It has this kind of been there, done that feel that I find kind of agonizing. So recently I was playing a completely different game, Ultros. Love that game. It's really good. I had access to the full game like 2 weeks before the game came out. And then the game comes out, and apparently the launch day patch wiped my save file, much to my chagrin. So now I'm kind of in this awkward position where I'd played 3 hours of it. Like, I was reasonably far in. Not like stupid far, but far enough that it's like, well, now I have to replay through this again if I want to actually play the game. And because it's the exact same thing as the version I'd played, all of that like wonder and excitement and mystery, it's all gone because I've just seen it before. And this is true for like game demos too, you know, especially if it's like a story-based game. You know, I'll play through the game demo, which is the first hour of the gameplay, like first hour of the game, and then game comes out and whoops, gotta play through the whole thing again. So I went through that with Pacific Drive, which is, I guess, went out on the channel just a couple hours ago. Very good game. I wish more people watched it. But for Pacific Drive, I played the demo, which was like the first couple hours, and then played the 1.0 release, which is the first couple hours again. And so not only is my YouTube video identical to the one I'd done before, but I also, well, it's virtually identical to the last like 20 minutes or so, at which point I did something halfway different. And so, like, at least that kind of made it feel a little bit different, and also the way I went through the game felt a little bit faster and more efficient the second time around. But it still felt like, hey, I'm just playing this again, and that's a little stinky. And so this didn't do that. This is a completely new experience. New story, new lore, new environments, and they look really nice. I don't want to be dismissive, but the initial version of Last Epoch, the areas you go through, it's like generic forest and then kind of just grubby looking areas. This is legitimately really nice looking. It's got this kind of lovely utopian fantasy vibe to it. Okay, let's just keep putting points into that. How do I, there we go. Yeah, the controller support is actually really nice. The auto aim is good. I think the only immediate problem is, well, I don't know. I don't know if it's that much of an issue, but I'm only aiming in the direction that I'm moving, which, yeah, it's okay. Boy, these birds seem pretty sentient to me. I don't know. I'm cool with, how would I describe it? Sentient and articulate maybe is the way I'd put it. That like, I don't necessarily mind fighting Lord of the Rings style orcs or like evil gremlin-y monsters, because then at least there's some level of like, well, they're just evil creatures and kind of chose to be here. Or maybe they don't quite have another choice because culturally it's just evil's good, I guess, in Mordor. But it's a little tougher when the characters are like particularly articulate or like passionate, because then it's just kind of like, oh, you're brainwashed. I just feel bad for you now. It ain't gonna stop me, but it feels weird. Like, that scream specifically is just like, yeah, that was a person. That was a person scream. That was not just like a goblin going as it falls over. Okay, that was maybe a little bit too like something, I don't know. But the way the ostriches go down is just like, yeah, that was somebody that has like a hobby. That's not just like some evil mook called like Gortag Face Muncher, whose main hobby is like munching faces. You know, who cares if you take him out? In fact, you're making the world a better place by doing so. Whereas the ostrich warriors that I'm killing, like, I don't know. That's the scream of a person who had, like, hopes and dreams and plans for their life. But got wrapped, I mean, I'm assuming wrapped into some kind of holy war against literally everyone else. And that's, I don't know. Can't help but feel a little bad about that nowadays. Even if it's a video game, and who cares, they're not actually a real person. I think maybe part of this is too many video games have started trying to humanize the baddies in some way, shape, or form, or at least to some degree. You know, the ones where it's just like, if you listen to the characters, they're talking about, like, well, I guess what they're like in the background, and then the game's like, oh, you murdered too many, you know, evil guards. Well, it turns out they're not evil. It's this whole game is just a bunch of gray areas where they're just doing their job, and by getting rid of them, the whole city is like fall into chaos, and you're actually secretly bad, and oops, your daughter's fallen out the window and she died. It's been a while since I've played Dishonored, so I'm not actually sure if that's exactly the plot, but it's close enough to the plot that it counts. Also, I kind of feel bad for the ostriches because I'm burning them to death. This isn't just like a quick slaying. They are going down in probably one of the most like painfully violent ways you possibly can go down. Maybe. I don't know why I'm fixated on this. It's just kind of a matter of like, this is something that's been stuck in my head ever since Shell and I played Horizon Forbidden West. Specifically, it was what, 2 years ago or something like that. I think we were trying to get through it before we moved back to the East Coast, and so we were blitzing through it over the course of, you know, a week or two, and that was nice and fun. But as part of the game, you're fighting a lot of people, and they're not even like particularly bad people. They're just vaguely aligned with the bad guys. Whereas at least in the first one, they were kind of the main villainous human groups were shown to be like really bad dudes. So like, go figure, you're fighting them. They suck. They need to go away. They're a creepy murder cult. I guess this is a creepy murder cult then, now that I'm thinking about it. But like, there's kind of this weird recognition that is like, Aloy murders hundreds or thousands of people over the course of Horizon Zero Dawn, and you got to imagine that's got to give her some kind of turbo PTSD. Also, the extended map is barely visible. I guess I can leave it in the small box. It's not that big of a deal. Might want to zoom it out a little bit though. Swapping between keyboard and mouse is a little scuffed. Not gonna lie. It's not a big deal, but still. I kind of like this stun on the fireball. The enemies are just like, can't deal with it. Too much fire. Now, are the fire... Okay, the solar archers are... Or solar invaders are humans. Probably. Lighted traveling staff of conflagration. Or conflagration. I bet that's pretty good for me, maybe. I should switch to it in a moment. I just want to make sure nothing's going to shoot me in the butt as I'm standing around. Okay, nope, that's not the one. Ah, that's how I get access to it. Okay, equip that. Equip that. Equip that. Melee physical damage. We have the nice shield, which is kind of good. Damage over time, chance to ignite on hit. We do have the Bloom Tender Spear. Increased damage over time. Increased damage over time? Interesting. Base attack rate, increase fire damage, increase... No, I think I'm happy with this. Go to and from for just a hot second. Might as well sell some things. Hello? These are people.
Terra's blessing.
Okay.
Prayers
I will
be with
admit,
you.
characters that are not voice acted usually communicate to me that they're not worth thinking about from a dialogue perspective. I should probably put some item filters on. We'll do that probably later. Okay.
Right.
And then I'm going to put this away. Even though I'm almost assured, I almost assuredly already have, or I will almost assuredly find it on every subsequent playthrough. And I'm probably going to be playing the online, what? Oh, they just respawn. Well, that's a concern. Okay, well, we've got Flame Ward. Should probably figure out what that does. Okay, Flame Ward. Okay, Flame Ward. Burst of 400 ward, then 3 seconds, hits deal 30% less damage to you and cause a retaliatory burst of flames. Okay. So we've also unlocked Glacier. Okay, that's how I do it. So yeah, it's a temporary boost of shields. Okay, that's pretty fun. Oh, you can go into mana debt. Okay, what is this? Ah. Well, I can only invest into Fireball. Fireballs have a chance of reducing enemy resistance. Chance to apply Spreading Flames, an ailment which deals fire damage over time and spreads to nearby enemies. Okay, so we gotta have 4. Well, let's get the Ignite chance up really high. I think you can kind of respec at a later date. Okay. Give him a couple of that. Sir, can I have your meteors? They seem cool. But yeah, this already feels like it has way more stakes than the previous game. Tossing players into more or less an active war situation, it feels like a really good way of saying like, of saying like, hey, there are stakes, you need to care about them. The world and the lore are a little bit more relevant. Yeah, dig the Glacier as a, hey, wipe out that whole side, or, you know, mess up that group, go focus on somebody else. There's too many of them. Are you all right? Over there, they've invaded some old storage. They're building something there. I'll look into it. Hero, bless. Stay safe. Can we... Can't tell him to go back to base. Well, it's fine. Yeah, the multi-hit is super helpful. High fire damage and resistance. Okay, right. Oh. I guess we're fine. That shield's also kind of nice from a survivability standpoint. Okay, so which way am I going? I'm assuming this is the storerooms.
Charge!
I guess I can actually use my health potions a little bit more than I have been. There's some of them I can't pick up for whatever reason, and I'm not sure why. Not that it strictly matters. Okay, anything else? Mostly just what's in the storerooms. I mean, it's always just effectively a side quest, a little bit of extra loot, but it's a nice change of scenery. And also, we might as well go in.
As Orion ordered.
Yeah, I might want to specialize in Glacier. It's just too good, man. Like, especially mixing fire, ice, and if I make the fireball half lightning. That'll cover a wider variety here.
Fools. Fools.
Let's see, and not have to worry about specific character immunities. Not that I'm like super duper worried about that kind of thing. You know, maybe if I was playing on like harder well, I don't know. I don't know how they handle harder difficulties. In Diablo 2, I know once you got up to the 4th level, whatever it was it Impossible or no, Inferno? I think it was Inferno difficulty or something, but once you got up to that point, well, I think I found the siege engineers. Ah, that's the issue. Ran out of money and I couldn't cast the shield. Okay, so where does this drop me? Right just at the entrance? Ah, we're here. Different guy. I heard you head towards the storage. Are they gone? They're gone. I should thank. Go back to camp. Passive point, EXP. Cool. Alright. So this screen, I guess, isn't quite perfect, but it's fine. There we go. Anything else?
Fools. Fools.
Yeah, so we might want some more max HP. Or max mana, just so I can cast more than 2 instances of Glacier before running out. Then again, maybe I don't need more than 2 instances. Or maybe there's going to be other big spells that are even more worthwhile. Who are you? Keeper Lena sent me. Keeper Balthus is inside protecting the shard. The Osprix won't be able to pass through the inner door without a symbol of Atera, but they'll break it down before long. Here, I hid the symbol from them. They left me alone thinking I was already dead. Take it. It'll unlock the door to the shard chamber. Please, help Balthus. Okay, she has nothing else to say. Okay, so what else do we have? We got a ring. Let's see. What I should probably do already. Extra potion slots, increase fire damage, dig that. Increase damage over time, which is actually kind of tempting. I think it's still not as good. Let's see, armor, increase regen, less dexterity, but I'll take it. Oh, it does actually show up on my character model, and I look way more wizardy as a result. Sick. Okay, so we get another passive. What is this one? Grace period. Invulnerable cannot be targeted. Ah. I'm just gonna keep investing hard into that. Now this looks like maybe the... no. It kind of looks like the hometown. Or maybe not hometown, but the central hub of one of the future zones. But I could be wrong on that one. There we go. I gotta say, they did a very good job of making the special effects field punchy.
Once I deciphered the Keeper's movements, the vaults were easy to find. Exploring them proved more challenging. Ancient stonework that could inspire even the greatest of Solarum's architects. Nearly impenetrable. Between my engineer's finest munitions and the strength of my pet, we managed to crack one open. Only to find empty halls and vacant chambers. What would be the purpose of such a stronghold if it were to house nothing? Yet I could tell they were here, just as I predicted. They were guarding something of immense importance, something powerful. Raya will be pleased.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, so I could actually specialize into something new. So I don't think I care too much about teleport. Frostclaw is interesting. I don't know. I'm thinking we go Glacier. It's a bit pricey, but I can probably change that. Explosions have a chance to chill enemies. We kind of knew about that. Chance to create an ice vortex. Or costless mana and... Sure. Okay, and this has no more points, but this one does. The efficiency is tempting. Costless mana, but the largest explosion is disabled. So that turns it into more of a regular attack. Let's see. Middle explosion does more damage. Largest explosion does more damage. Smallest explosion does more damage. Does more damage to rare and boss monsters. Explosions occur at a target location, but critical hits no longer deal extra damage. Gain ward on crits with Glacier, and no. Don't think I care too much about that. I mean, we could just do a no crit Glacier. Chance to chill, middle explosion. You know, honestly, looking at this, I'm not sure how much I actually care about these. Yeah, I think this is actually kind of boring. Despecialized skill. What about Flame Ward? Retaliation hits deal more damage. Grants additional ward. Costless mana, and it lasts longer. It's in a larger area. Yeah, why don't we specialize in a Flame Ward? Because I'll probably use this no matter what. And I think I'll do the retaliation damage. Okay. Oh, right. We also have another passive. Let's just max that out. Because now we also have access to preparation. 3 seconds, next elemental spell deals increased damage. That's okay. Or, when you drop below health, you get ward. That's not bad, actually. God, this game is gorgeous. They did a really good job with their surface specularity. I think that's what it's called.
You're here to help. No speak slave. Protect the sword.
They're coming.
The Drake. Tread carefully.
What I'd like to do is get my flame shield to have a really short cooldown if possible. Because I bet that's going to be really strong. Okay, so I guess the Novas aren't as good. Is he just commanding his giant bug to attack for him? Go figure the Keepers are losing. They're micromanagers.
Note here. It isn't safe. We'll reconvene outside. That should hold them. First things first, thank you. The Osprix grow more troublesome by the day. We've reinforced our walls, supplied our men, and taken out dozens of them. Yet, they're still here, using brute force now.
Through their Drake?
The howling monster circling the vault. Yes. So, I see you lack Keeper's robes. I take it Lena sent you.
Yes, she did.
Lovely. While your help has been appreciated, I have everything under control.
What are you doing here?
What do you mean? I'm protecting the Epoch, of course.
What is this place?
Here. It's a fortress, meant to keep unruly treasure hunters from locating the shards of the Epoch. Or at least it's supposed to. Drastic times.
Shards of the Epoch?
Did Lena not tell you? Well, tell you what. Let's get out of here first, and then I'll explain more. These peace talks are hardly worth it if you don't know why Orion is after us.
Alright. I'll have to peek at some of the other classes. I do really enjoy this character's kit so far. The, oh yeah, and we haven't even looked at the side classes. I know there was some, like, really goofy, busted stuff I'd love to play around with on the Paladin guy.
Since the Keepers formed, we've held the same ritual. The first the third shard is
Oh my
always
gosh, the
on
fact...
move. It uses multiple vaults. Only the third shard is always on the move.
Okay, I'm just gonna...
multiple vaults. Only we possess the
Don't try and do dialogue ever in the middle of combat. So I got a couple of things to deal with. For one, gifting. No, don't care. What is that? Fire resistance shard. Yeah, so what I should probably do at this point is actually add some item filters. I was a bit lazy about it earlier, so I could get some, well, the good gear. Extra physical damage, melee fire damage, chance to ignite on hit, and extra spell damage. Sure. It's not that much better. It's not that much worse. Transfer materials. Okay.
Right.
So, that's a neat looking helm, though. I was hoping it'd be more closed face than open, but whatever. What is that? Arcane Quill. Ward gain on kill, forging potential, mage relic. Interesting. Offhand catalysts, some other stuff, buyback. Nah, I'm good. Okay. Let's see. So how does this work? This here. To character skill passive, no. So it's got to be in settings somewhere. Gameplay? Manage loot filters. Here we go. Okay. I guess I'm going to have to use a mouse for this one. So, no filter, no filter. Create new filter. I don't know. No junk. And for the sake of convenience, let's just have it be purple, no junk. Add rule. Let's see, visibility, hide, add condition, hide all items, rarity, magic, hide all magic items, is there a way, because these are extra conditions, but that's not helpful. Add a rule. Hide. Rarity. Normal. Okay. We'll hide those two for now. Just so I don't have to... Oh gosh. How do I zoom in and out? I guess mouse wheel. Yeah, not having to see white... Are they white or are they gray? White or... Ooh... There's a baggie on the ground.
Since the Keepers formed, we've held the same rituals, instructed to keep the Epoch shard separate. Those were Itera's words. The first Epoch shard is held in a fortress. Ancient Terran mechanisms hold it in place, with no one but us knowing how to enter. The second vault is deep inside the Stonefall Mountains, with traps that only the Keepers know how to maneuver. The third shard is always on the move. It uses multiple vaults. Only we possess the knowledge to open them. This is why we never call a single place home.
Okay. Good enough. But yeah, if we don't have to worry about seeing functionally junk items, it means I'm going to have to go back home way less often. I think the one downer, to some small degree, is... see, what was I going to say? I really want the Torchlight dog. Dog or cat. If you've never played Torchlight before... Oh, that's why I couldn't pick up that blue item, because it's my loot filters are saying no. It's entirely acceptable. What was I gonna say? Right. If you've never played Torchlight before, one of the key features of the game is a pet that specifically will has its like own inventory. It can fight, which is quite good, but for the most part, the main claim to fame, the main reason why you want the pet is it specifically, you can give it a bunch of items. Wow, that retaliatory shield is actually really good. You can give it a bunch of items and then tell it like, hey, go home with this. And your pet will actually go out of its way to specific, or it'll go out of its way. It'll warp back home, drop off all of your items, and come back with the money. And it usually takes like an amount of time, but it's not too long. And that always felt really good to me from the perspective of a you know, action RPG player, of like, hey, my inventory is full. Let's make it so it's not full anymore. Rather than having to like warp home and waste a bunch of time selling stuff, you could just offload it on the dog. Eventually you'd have enough items that you actually want to keep in some meaningful fashion. Then you'd have to go back, but it meant considerably less downtime overall. And really did like that. Okay, just gonna... Yeah, that retaliatory shield is cool. I gotta look at it for a hot second. Okay, Flame Ward. Then for 3 seconds, hits deal 30% less damage to you and cause a retaliatory burst. I wonder if I can get that retaliation period to last longer. Keeper's Contingency, bunch of random blues, book. I like the lore books.
Let me ask, for how long must we live like this? No one cared about the shards until recently. Until Raya. For now it's just him. But how much longer until Lagan seeks them out? Majasa. We uphold customs, as Itera willed, but our goddess is gone. If she knew the state of the world, would she not request us to act? To bring peace back between her children? We cannot keep the old ways. The Council is scared, but nothing will change if we do not change. As Orion ordered.
Yeah, I kind of love that retaliation damage. I'll have to poke at it. I've always wanted to do more of like a retaliation build in the game. I'd never thought of doing it with like a wizard, but it might work. It's probably better on the paladin or the druid or something. But yeah, if I can get that cooldown to be shorter, or the duration to be longer, or both, even to the point where like I gladly give up the actual ward, the temporary HP, in favor of more retaliation damage and longer, maybe. There's a nice variety in set pieces too. most action RPGs tend to be just kind of generic over and over and over again. And like all the fantasy-y like architecture
I'm sure you
and
have
runes.
questions, but let me first check and make sure the Epoch's safe.
You know, all of these runes feel really good to go by.
Who do the keepers adhere to? Our slumbering mother, Terra? Alone? A goddess they cannot see?
Is this the Sid voice actor from Final Fantasy? No, it's got to be somebody else. It's just similar accent, I think.
They sent no treasure to sea for Lagon, no works of art south to Majasa. Were they in league with Heorot's savages? No. Their alliance seems to be a recent development. How can they claim a greater connection to Iterra than us? We're the servants of Raya, the inheritor of her domain. It is blasphemy. They will burn.
Good. No.
Get him!
Well. Balthus, what just happened? At ease, who was that? It was Orion, an Ospric's general. We've seen him up in their camp, but never like this. Looks like they went towards the highlands where the Ospric's are based, but there's too many, it's no use. You'll what? Oh, I guess I'll go get him. You'll what? Go back to camp, I've got this. I gotta remember to read my dialogue. Okay, so it wants me to go back to the vault, but I'm glad I didn't. Looks like this is just a dead end. But yeah, this is probably the best... it's either the best hack and slash action RPG I've ever played, or it's like a solid tie with Grim Dawn, and it's almost impossible for me to make that judgment call.
Everything okay? Where's Balthus?
He was kidnapped. The Osprix took him.
What? What happened?
A giant drake came in, grabbing him.
That must be Orion. If he captured Balthus, he's in danger.
Who's Orion?
An Ospric's general. He's the one leading the hunt for us. What happened to the artifacts Balthus was protecting?
It was taken along with Balthus.
That must be what they were after. We have to save Balthus. Get him and the Epoch back.
Do you know where they would go?
Their camp is not far. I'll have to organize a group. Go after him.
Allow me.
Are you sure? I could gather soldiers. Have them come with you.
It's faster if I go now.
You'll walk into an entire army of Osprix.
I got this.
Stay safe. Stay alive. And bring Balthus back.
Will do. Got another passive point. So what do we want to invest into? So there's the elemental spell, there's the ward per health, there's scholar for health, or int scaling. Oops. I don't know. Let me check a couple of things. Let's do character. What does int do? Intelligence. Just ward retention and improve skills that rely on carefully studied magic. Oh, scales int and dexterity. Scales on intelligence. I mean, it says most of these scale on intelligence. So, passives. Guess let's start just scaling off of that. Oh, right. Other thing I might as well do is we actually have a couple of these. High. Elemental damage leeches health. Chance to stat. Yeah, that's really good. Dodge rating health. Lightning. +1 lightning blast. Not as good across the board otherwise, though. Oh. Ward gain. So this book is actually a relic. And it says, oh no, it's a unique reliquary text, so I can't do much with it. What are mod ranges? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll be fine. I could go sell some stuff, but we're not close to full. Not yet, anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna say the controller support on this is pretty top tier. Navigating UI is a little but every other aspect of it has felt pretty good so far. It means I don't have to constantly just be mousing around to specifically target a foe. It's not really that big of a deal. Yeah, its shield is just too dang good. Dang. I might have to actually disallow even yellow items. Okay, so we've unlocked teleport. I don't think I care too much, though. There we go. And yeah, that Glacier Blast is still pretty good. I might want to consider investing into it. I'll have to see what the subclasses specifically offer, though. Because there's a very real possibility there might be other big meteor spells that I can utilize instead. I was hoping I'd rescue the guy, you know, fight the general before we're done with this video, but I don't think I'm going to make it there. Oddly enough, you know what this game reminds me of? It reminds me of that extremely ill-fated Magic hack-and-slash action RPG MMO that, like, never went anywhere. It was, like, in beta, but with extreme monetization, and everybody said, hey, this sucks. And then they pretty much, like, cooked... I wouldn't exactly say they cooked their studios as a result, but they certainly didn't survive. Well, okay, the game didn't survive the beta. I have no idea if the studio survived. I don't think I've heard about them at all in the past. But that might just be a lack of overall me not paying attention, or lack of might be as a result of it. I don't know. Look, I'm a little sleepy. I can be garrulous, but I'm ready for a nap. Okay. I love how the enemies will just like group up, fight each other, and let me just shell them from a distance. I mean, it makes sense. You know, I don't exactly give them enough time to figure out, like, hey, this is the danger guy. But even then, I don't know. Maybe a bit silly. I'm curious if the retaliation damage only works in melee. I think it does. Hard to say. Yeah, that ice wave is so good. I just wish the customization, I think, was a little more interesting rather than just like each Nova size does more damage or has a chance of a polar vortex. I was kind of hoping I could like spec hard into making it weirdly huge. Or if there was like a really cool variant that's like, hey, this, how do I describe it? Like a really cool variant where it's actually kind of this constant shockwave going around you instead. Ow. They're weak to ice. It was a trap. The Ospreys used us as bait, sent out a distress signal. They plan to ambush anyone who... Rest now, you did good. Music's good. But yeah, I was gonna say back when we were in camp, It definitely rivals Grim Dawn. I'll have to see about its long-term staying power. Mostly boiling down to the fact of, will I play, or is this one of those games that I'll play like the first half of the first act a couple of times and then get distracted and never go back to? Or will I actually get really hooked and play through to the end? Unfortunately, it's one hell of a week for new releases. This Balatro, it feels like I should be able to do something here. But it was this, Balatro, and Pacific Drive. And I'd swear there's like 2 other games that I'm really interested in. Last week we had like Ultros, which I very much want to go back to. And I'm just kind of in this like weird stinky position of like, here's all of these incredible games that I want to play through. They'll take at least like 15 hours to play, and there's no way I can finish all of them. It's very first world problems, but it kind of sucks. And the last time I complained about this, somebody was like, how dare you? You play video games for a living. How can you not finish all of the games that, you know, are on your list? And it's just like, I actually don't play video games much compared to most people. Or maybe most, like, people that watch me. I mean, technically, yes, if you count my work, I am playing quite a lot of games. But, as far as, like, for my own personal enjoyment, no. I was writing blog posts and like video essays until midnight last night. And then afterwards I ran around a little bit and Enshrouded, got bored and said, okay, what other work can I do? And I started working on video editing. I don't know. My brain's, what is it? Hustle cooked. I guess we want that one. And we've unlocked Disintegrate. Let's give that a shot. What is this? Okay, minimum skill level increased, which is nice, actually. I think I'm going to ignore it for a hot second because I want to see... I might need to specialize into that one. Oh, not passives. Okay, looks like I gotta be level 20 for the next one. I think I'm gonna keep to the 2 I've got for now, but we might want to consider putting in Disintegrate here. Possibly even instead of Fireball. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at these. Flame Ward converted to Lightning, unless it's been converted to Cold. Hits in a larger area. Retaliation centered on an enemy. Frost Ward, Fire Aura. Okay, does damage over time to a surrounding area, costless mana, and lasts longer. So the duration is... might actually be worth it. Can I respec remove points? I mean, no, we want this. I was just thinking maybe investing into that. Grants ward over time while active. Ward retention. Flame ward can be cast on allies. Additional damage to... Hey, extra haste. Yeah, none of these seem to increase or decrease its cooldown. Oh, no. More ward, but longer cooldown, which we don't want. The dual Aegis lasts, or gives it a second charge, which actually is pretty good. More ward no longer retaliates. Eh. No, I don't think I care about those. Costless mana. Damage absorbed. Increased mana regen. So it doesn't look like we have too much that would mess with its cooldown. Just a bunch of damage. I don't know if I'm going to care too much about the elemental conversions. So the main question is, do we want to do more retaliation damage? I think I'm going to go for the mana efficiency and the duration, just so I can cast it more often. Or have longer coverage. Okay, we're at this summit. Screw it, let's go rescue the guy.
Fools. Fools!
Okay, does not fit in inventory. I guess it's time for me to go back. I was being kind of lazy about this. Why'd the portal move there? I liked it better when it was up here. Well, hi.
Etera's blessing.
Okay, yes, the distress call in the Highlands turned out to be a trap. What? But we had people check it out. Are they okay? I spoke with one. Have they returned? They have not. Oh, Etera. I got rid of the Osprix who did this. Thank you for checking in. I must recover their bodies. Once this is over, spread them into the gardens. Yeah, for your trouble. It isn't much, but I'm grateful for you checking it out.
Prayers
EXP
be
and
with
gold.
you.
Not much, but that's fine. Okay. So, health regen, elemental damage, yeah. Let's see, what's the goblet? Health, damage, no. Dodge rating. What about this? Extra damage over time, fire. Yeah, that's better. Can I equip that? Yes. It's probably better to go for the single-handed weapon and an offhand. Probably. Let's see. I think I want block, though. Damage over time, lightning, slow on hit. No. So we also have the slab and the hammer of Laurent. Yeah, the only immediate problem is because I'm playing this offline, I'm not going to be able to save this for any of my other characters, which is a little unfortunate. It's fine. I will gladly replay this at some point, which means I should probably end this video soon. I have been going for a while already, and gosh, today is going to just be a day of long videos, isn't it? The main thing is, I'm liking this too much to want to stop. Specifically, I was kind of hoping I could get to the... Well, we could always just, like, gather groups. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Because, yeah, I think I should just end this video. I will leave whatever cool plot things that are going to happen. I'll leave that for later. For now, at least, I gotta say, I think as far as the introduction goes, I do like this better than Grim Dawn. Grim Dawn just kind of chucks you out into a very dark and dreary field. I think that's a unique vibe, and I think it's kind of cool. But this one, I feel like I actually have stakes, and I know what I'm kind of doing. And I don't know. Also, I just like the environment a little bit more. That said, long term, no clue which is going to have more staying power. And ultimately, it's not a competition. Both Grim Dawn and Last Epoch are incredibly good. It's just the question of which is better. And I don't think I'm going to be able to answer that question in my head. I don't even know why I'm bringing it up. I think it's just one of those where I'm like, oh, is this dethroning Grim Dawn in my mind? And I'm struggling with that because it might be. And that might be controversial. Who knows? But I will definitely have to play through both of these games. Luckily, this one just came out in 1.0. So it's a good time for me to dive in and play more of it. However, I believe they will, or they've already stated that they're planning on adding more to this game after launch. So there's a very real possibility that, like, come back in a year or two and there's going to be even more stuff in the game. Maybe extra story campaigns, continuation of the plot, more classes and specializations. I'm not entirely sure. I guess part of it is it depends on what their goals are. I'm a big fan of the age-old Diablo model of every year or two you release a big expansion pack that adds a bunch of story and gives you like a new reason to come back, add some more classes, you know the drill. That's the way I love to play these games, just in terms of having something to do without it being like too extensive, like it is time to play this game endlessly forever. Though I do know that they are going to have a season system called Cycles. And so they will be cycling in new mechanics, maybe story elements and whatnot, as kind of a like, hey, here's a reason to come back frequently, over and over and over again. And I guess as part of that, they have characters, like your characters will be shifted from like current cycle to legacy. I'm not really sure if that's going to change much of anything. It just might mean you can't play with the current cycle characters, whereas your legacy characters will always be forever playable with all other legacy characters. That's got to be my assumption. Yeah, I like the flame shield. I will admit, I'm not using it as much as I'm using the icicle, just because the icicle's got a little bit more punch, and the shorter cooldown is nice. I don't know. Either way, let's see. Anything else for me to say? Not too much, apart from the fact that last Epoch is 30 bucks. I'm pretty sure it's 30 bucks. Might actually be 40. I will just give it a quick ogle before we go. I'm not prepared, but it's fine. 35 in the middle. And they've got a bunch of like cosmetic stuff as DLC if you really feel like buying into that. But I don't know. I don't even know if I've bought into that, so I'll have to give it a look. I think they gave me a key long ago, so I'd have to figure out if I can even pick them up without having to rebuy the game. I think I will be picking this up from my dad. He's an old Diablo player, and I think he'd actually enjoy this one thoroughly. Let's see. But, yeah, we didn't quite get to the boss. Unless this is the summit and it's a small boss arena, at which point I'll stick around. I'm gonna keep hanging for like 2 seconds here, and what is it? Let me see. It does look like the summit. Okay, screw it.
I can still feel the flame searing across me, stealing my wing and my eye. Yet, I saw it. The flames of prophecy revealed that these rats hid a treasure, one far more powerful than anyone could conceive. Every trinket I've gathered has been a step closer to this moment. The Epoch will be the pinnacle of my collection. When I present this to Raya, this power, he will finally understand how worthy I am, what I have sacrificed, all for him.
He sounds unhinged. I'll be honest, if my god burned off an entire, like, if I had wings and my god burned one off, I would certainly be questioning whether or not that was justified, and if I want to put up with that kind of treatment. I'm very much
You're here for the Epoch. Reaching me was impressive, but it's mine. Come, member wing.
I was wondering if I could actually get away with that. Okay. I don't actually know if that really... Oh, boy. Oh, yeah, he is missing one chicken wing.
The Epoch is ours! Raya, aid me!
Okay, missed. Don't get toasted. And yeah, I appreciate the extra health potions. Go for that. Get him with probably a couple of the glaciers. They cook them pretty good. And he's gone.
No, but Raya!
Well, that worked out really well.
Now get me out of here.
I was kind of hoping to talk to this guy before, but whatever.
Oh, Terra. My knees. For such large creatures, those Osprix sure build a tiny cage.
Voice acting in this game is top.
I will be, thanks to you. Let me just grab these. There. The shards of the Epoch are safe. I was worried for a moment.
You mentioned those before. What are they?
The Epoch. Oh, it's Eterra's most sacred artifact, holding great power. The power to travel through time.
Excuse me?
If Raya were to get his talons on it, he would surely win the war. More than that, he'd be untouchable.
You mentioned the shards. Are there multiple epochs?
Just one. Each shard is part of the whole. We keep them separated for protection. This responsibility makes the Keepers what we are.
And how many shards are with you?
2 of them. The one I keep with me and the one from the vault. The third should be back at camp by now.
The Heoboran champion should Hey Boran. Hey Boran? Heoboran? I don't know. Should return with it soon.
Lena sent him after it. Alone. No. There's no time.
You're carrying multiple? Isn't that dangerous?
The alternative would be to leave one with Lena, drawing the Austrix's attention to her. No, I could not let that happen.
I recall hearing about another vault down in the mountains.
Yes, though right now with Raya at our heels, vaults are no longer enough.
How does the Epoch's magic work?
One cannot use a single shard to manipulate time as they wish. Not even we know the Epoch's full potential. But Eterra tasked us to protect it. To protect it, we must.
So what now?
Now, I find a new course of action. Take the Epoch somewhere Raya can't reach. Which, speaking of, let's head back to camp. I must reach Lena at once.
Certainly. Let's get going.
I must remind myself to find suitable provisions for Emberwing. Prey in this area upset a drake's stomach. Bolroth in particular. Could I would simply feed him soldiers that question our bond. I admit, I have a bias for the creature. He's strong and more reliable than half those under my command. Plus, we have both been marred by flames. While my wounds showed me the path to the Epoch, his granted ascendance. Emberwing was raised from his draconic form, reforged in Raya's image. I may not be able to take flight, but with Emberwing's aid, I can once again feel the wind. Oh, how I've missed the limitless blue.
Wow, we've cleared a fair bit of distance. Okay, so let's go finish this up. See what kind of disaster has happened. Maybe the barbarian isn't back yet. Or it's a double cross.
He's back. And it's all thanks to you. He's been quiet since he returned. If you could speak with him, I'd be grateful. Then we can begin our talks.
You're back.
So what now?
Now, we must protect the Epoch. Find a way so Raya won't get to them.
Does he know about their power?
Not fully. Eterra left their secrets to us and to us alone.
What's your plan?
I have, ideas. Though Lena will disagree. Well, we are keepers after all. Protectors of Eterra's past. Collectors of lost history.
You sound almost sad.
Do you think we've made a mistake?
Pardon?
Going through the motions. Keeping the shards hidden, it's all been ritual. I feel as though drastic times are upon us.
It might be time, yes.
And now, you know about them too. Fate has already shown its hand. I apologize. You might become part of something greater.
What do you mean?
I only have 2 shards, but that's enough. I'll keep them safe. Lena, I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry to you too. This is what's best for us all. With the Epoch's power, I'll finally be able to...
Well, I guess this is how I get the Epochs. There appears to be one of the shards of the Epoch that Belthus had. Looks like it's only been here as long as you have. Belfast and the other shard are nowhere in sight. Take the shard of Epoch. So this is how we get to the weird, gross, cursed dimension future, I think. We're in the ruined era. So if I take it, oops. And now I immediately go back to the present. I'm not sure how that fits. But yeah, so this is, oh gosh, that's way in the future. Cool. All right, well, one way or another, I think I've said all of that needs to be said about this game, and then some. I really adore it, and I cannot wait to play more. Single player, multiplayer, doesn't matter. I love this kind of games. Lena's gone. Unsurprisingly.
And who are you?
Okay, well, it's fine. Anyway, so with all that said, I guess if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, leave me a like, helps more than you know. And if you want to see more rad new games every single day, then hit subscribe because I got tons to check out and show off. But with that, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Oh, and of course, I might play more of this at some point. I'll have to figure out my timing and my schedule. It's a busy month.